Check this out.
When you registered in Indians' fishing rights, before it was fashionable to be so, what triggered that?
What we've learned about the Indians has been largely taught to us by Hollywood and by motion pictures. Seeing Indians represented as savage, as ugly, as nasty, as vicious. Everything we are taught about the American Indian is wrong. There have been 400 treaties written by the United States in good faith with the Indians, and every single one of them was broken. We like to see ourselves as perhaps John Wayne sees us, that we are a country that stands for freedom, for rightness, for justice. It just simply doesn't apply. And we were the most rapacious, aggressive, destructive, torturing, monstrous people.
Teach you about what they didn't teach you in school in history class about what the colonizers did to Native Americans in the genocide. So here's a map of the tribes from before colonization. Now, prior to Columbus's arrival, there were at least 60 million indigenous people in North America and likely more. But this scholar shows that they believe that there was 112 million in 1492 of Native American peoples in North America, which I believe to be more accurate. Now, when the Europeans brought their diseases, slavery, and the war, up to 100 million Native Americans were slaughtered and killed from this genocide. Let's also not forget the 32 tribes that went extinct after this genocide. And likely that's not even the correct number, it's likely higher than that since they didn't have all the tribes documented then. So yes, there's tribes that no longer exist today. This is our...
May 5th is the National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Relatives. Native women are murdered 10 times higher than the national average. 4 out of 5 Native women will experience assault sometime in their lifetime. The majority of these crimes are perpetrated by non-Native people. As of today, there are 5,712 open cases regarding missing and murdered Indigenous women. To honor and remember them, we wear red today. The red hand symbol symbolizes the silence that we are currently facing when we are crying out for justice. If you want to support, boost this message. There is a link in my bio that will directly send funds to the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women of the USA, a wonderful organization that is supporting families through this crisis.
That is witchcraft. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that is originally a Native American practice of getting rid of evil spirits. It does not work.
This rhetoric is dangerous. It implies that Native and Indigenous people who practice our traditional ceremonies are evil. This was the same argument that colonizers used in their conquest of manifest destiny. This is why Native Americans were not allowed to practice our religion openly until 1978 with the American Indian Freedom of Religion Act. And so, be careful, y'all. I'm hella evil. Head in the clouds above my gravity centered. Touch my neck and I'll touch yours. You and those little heartbeats, these shores. She knows what I think about. What I think about. One love, two love, one love, one love.
Native American people are not all the same. Native Americans have inhabited this continent for over 15,000 years. For over 99% of the time this part of the world has had humans, they've been Native American. There are over 500 First Nations tribes still in existence. Let's take a look at some of these groups. Here are two Navajo women. The Navajo have a lovely tradition where they celebrate a baby's first laugh with a special ceremony. Here are some Dakota people who have been protesting against a pipeline that would cut through their sacred territories and destroy their water supply. This is an Inuit family from northern Canada, dressed for the typical cold weather of the region. The people of this region suffer from extremely high food prices, such as this Sunny D for $34. These are Choctaw children, whose unique language was used as a code during World War I. And finally, here's a Cherokee man performing a traditional dance. The Cherokees are well known for their beautiful arts and crafts, such as this expressive painting by Cherokee painter Daniel Horsechief.
Desperado, sitting in a old Monte Carlo.
Native Americans are forgotten, and the sad truth is, the only sign of them
or when we see them on our bottles or printed on the packages of butter. Native American identity has been stolen, and for years, their image has been a marketing tool for companies to profit and freely advertise.
If you didn't know, a large majority of Native Americans live on reservations.
Land owned by the government for the benefit of the people. Yet inside, many residents struggle to get clean water. They lack healthcare services, suffer from unemployment, keeping many locked in poverty. We need to revive this culture. We have to put ourselves in their shoes. But most importantly, we have to talk to more Native Americans, be more exposed to their culture.
You steal our lands. You try to erase our culture, our identity, and our languages. You idly sit by when our Indigenous women go missing or murdered, and now you want to take our spirituality and our prayers and our songs. How much more do you want to take? When is enough enough? In whiteness studies, there is a concept called ontological expansiveness. What it means is that white people feel they have a right to all spaces, literal physical spaces, linguistic spaces, even spiritual spaces. In my view, that's just colonization.
You compare the Chinese to the Indians, and I can't help but wonder how the Indians viewed the arrival of our own ancestors, turning up on their shores in droves.
We brought with us God and civility.
You mean because we murdered them by the thousands with bullets instead of tomahawks and spears? I imagine they would have wanted to enact an exclusion act all their own where we were concerned.
Oh, Penelope, dear. I hardly think it's fair to compare.
My point is, we came to a country, found a people we deemed inferior, and stole their land right out from under them. And since then, we have imported different races we deem inferior to do our dirty work for us. And when that work is done, we lament their presence in our country as an assault on our values.
Facts!
For natives.
Mannitol alcohol
For
screening.
natives leaving the reserve.
No, not at all.
For First Nations leaving a reserve, it'll be mandatory alcohol screening.
So I'm just gonna start the instrument for you. Okay. So now it's making a blank test to see if there's no alcohol in the instrument or in the straw. So there's none, okay? So I'm gonna ask you to blow. I'll tell you when to stop, okay? Any questions for me? Yes or no? Do you have any questions?
I didn't even know I had to answer that question. I'll blow.
Okay.
I'll blow. Oh, he's gonna hold it for me.
I am my mother's savage daughter, the one who runs barefoot, cursing sharp stones. I am my mother's savage daughter, I will not cut my hair, I will not lower my voice.